Hi, this is Tanya, and today I'm going to show you how to modify an Amazon product image. There are a few things that you'll need to know in advance. First, you'll need to know basic HTML code, and I'll show you some examples on how to use it. And then you'll need to use an HTML editor. So don't worry about messing up your page or anything like that. You're going to test everything that we do before you actually apply it to your website. But first, let's go through a few definitions. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and this is the code that you'll need to modify the image. A class defines a group of HTML elements to apply formats and styles like bolding and borders and fonts and things like that. So there are three classes that we're going to modify in this example today. We're going to modify the product border, which is the line or the box around an image. We're going to modify the product container, which is the size in which the image is contained. And then we're going to modify the product image itself. We're also going to look at an href tag. This is used to define the URL of a page that a link goes to, as well as any attributes. And then lastly, as I mentioned before, we'll do all of this within an HTML editor. There's a tool that you can use for free to see the results of the HTML code. On the next page, I want to review with you some of the classes that you'll need to look for so that you know what to change in the HTML code. As I mentioned before, you'll want to change the product border, which starts with this name, add unit. You want to change the product container, which starts with this name, product container. And then you'll want to change the product image, which starts with this name, product image source. And the reason why I point this out is because I want you to be able to quickly identify what the code looks like and where you need to go to modify it. And then lastly, the href tag, which starts with an A, and you'll see the href within that tag. And you may even be able to quickly recognize that this is an Amazon URL that goes to a product for your store ID or with your store ID so that you can get that credit from Amazon. Okay, now let's take a look at all of this in live action. So, as I mentioned before, one of the things that you will need is the HTML editor. And the HTML editor is a free tool that's used to test any HTML code. So I'll put the link of the HTML editor in the body or description of this video. So basically what I want to do is remove what's here, place the code that I've already received from Amazon and run it. And the results will be placed in this screen here. As you can see, it's an Amazon product. It's a bag, has a border around it, and then it has some text in the image. If you recall, as I mentioned before, there are things that you need to look for within the code itself so that you can modify this image. The first thing I'm going to do, and I kind of have an idea already, is modify the image source. I want this to be a little bit bigger, so I'm going to make it a 300 pixel width and a 300 pixel height. And you can always keep running it to see how it looks. As you can see, the product is bigger, but it's outside the container. So the next thing you want to do is change the container. I usually make this a little bit bigger than the product image itself. So I'm going to make it 350 for the height and the width. Didn't need the extra zero. And run it. There. Now we have a bigger container. Now, the last thing I want to do is get rid of this border because I'm not really fond of it. So what I want to do is go up here to the add unit. And for border, I'm going to input none. And for the line height, I'm going to input none. and run it. And there you have it, a bigger image without a border. Now, another thing that I want to improve is the product URL information. So as you can see here, it has NA, and that may be because of how I used the API itself. But you can change this information that's here. So all you have to do is look for the href tag. You can get rid of the NA, and that's actually right here. I'm going to delete it. And instead, I'm going to say view price for the link itself. So I'm going to go up here to another href tag and type in big capital letters view price. Now run it and you'll see it here. If I open this link in another page, you'll see that it goes right to the Amazon page. And of course, my store gets credit for it. And that's it. Hopefully that was helpful to you. As you can see, there were two different places where you could modify the text for the URL hyperlink. One was above the product itself, which is what I used, and the other one was below the product image. And then also one last tip, if you do make these changes, make sure to test in a mobile view to make sure that the user experience is not impacted. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.